Welcome into the Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Coming up on today's show, we will be discussing Lamar Jackson and his franchise tag situation. What franchise tag will he be receiving? We'll let you hear what the experts had to say on that, as well as we'll talk about DJ Chark. Could the Ravens be signing the Lions wide receiver in free agency, and also have some coaching staff changes that we'll update you on coming up in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, folks, we are getting close to 9,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're about 174 away from reaching that milestone, but we need your help to get there. Subscribe now for the latest Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. We're counting down to the draft, free agency, trades, and more. This is the place to be. And if you need a little extra added incentive for why you should subscribe, I have a little challenge for you. When we get to 9,000 subscribers here on the channel, I'm going to take down 9 shots of liquor to celebrate 9,000 subscribers. But we got to get there first. So help us out, and we'll get started with today's show. The franchise tag window is officially open for the Baltimore Ravens to place the franchise tag on any player. Obviously, the focus is on Lamar Jackson, who we've heard reports within the last couple of weeks that the Ravens are planning to franchise tag. And the window was open until about 4 p.m. Eastern time on March 7th. That is the window essentially the Ravens have to work with. Whether it's Lamar Jackson or anyone else they want to put the franchise tag on for that matter, they can do the exclusive franchise tag or the non-exclusive franchise tag, and both of them present different situations. So, which franchise tag will the Ravens ultimately use? Well, according to different experts, there's a few opinions that aren't necessarily the same. Let's start with Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk of NBC. And Florio is predicting that the Ravens, as recently as today, his prediction that just came out, will use the non-exclusive tag on Lamar Jackson. Here's what Florio had to say. Our guess is that unless the exclusive franchise tender dips below $40 million, the Ravens will be inclined to go the non-exclusive route. That would give them the ability to match any offer sheet Jackson signs to take a pair of first-round picks, or if they choose not to match, and if no one will give Jackson the 5-year fully guaranteed contract he wants, he'll have to decide whether he wants to play for the Ravens on a 1-year tender and do it all over again in 2024, or to accept the best offer the Ravens would make on a long-term deal. So that is door number 1. Now there's door number 2. As Ian Rappaport, a couple of weeks ago, the NFL Network insider was on the Pat McAfee show, and he predicted the opposite, that the exclusive franchise tag would be given to Lamar Jackson. Here's what Rap Sheet had to say. If they give him the non-exclusive tag, then someone can sign Lamar Jackson to an offer sheet and get him with the price of 2 first-rounders. If it's the exclusive tag, it costs Baltimore more. However, if at some point, and I don't think they will, but if at some point they ever want to trade him, they set the price. So it'd be 2, maybe more than 2 first-rounders. So if they get the exclusive tag, it basically raises the price in the event of a trade, which I don't think is going to happen. So with that, I think that ultimately we're going to see the Ravens go the exclusive tag route. I agree more so with Ian Rappaport here than I do Mike Florio. And here's why. I think that you want all the control, you want all the power you can of not only maximizing on potential draft capital if there is a trade, but also play kingmaker of sorts where if you do trade Lamar, if he plays for somebody else next year, you get to decide where that is. That way he's not staying within your conference potentially or even within your division at that point. So that's the route I think the Ravens are going to go. I think they're going to get a long-term deal done anyway to keep Lamar in Baltimore. But nonetheless, I would be surprised if they go with the exclusive tag. So will the Ravens give Lamar an exclusive tag or a non-exclusive tag? What's it going to be? Let us know in the comment section. Type E for exclusive. Type N for non-exclusive. Let me know in the comment section below. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in and tell me which way you think the Ravens will go on this one. Let's switch gears now and talk about DJ Chark, the Detroit Lions wide receiver. According to CBS Sports, they've named Chark as the Ravens' top free agent target for this offseason. And Chark, his career has been kind of up and down, but this is somebody that might have sneaky value of sorts potentially. Here's what CBS Sports had to say. At 6'4", 200-something pounds, I think Chark is the outside receiving threat the Ravens need. He didn't have a great season with the Detroit Lions, catching just 30 passes for 502 yards and 3 touchdowns while missing 6 games. But he did string together a few impressive numbers. And it's no secret the Ravens need to add at wide receiver, and it won't break the bank to add Chark, who could finally reach the potential with Lamar Jackson if he stays. So Chark looking to take that next step. You pair him up with Lamar Jackson, you get him some much-needed help. And I know that Chark has had an up-and-down career at this point, but when you look at the Ravens receiving core, without question, no doubt about it, this would be a nice upgrade. We'll show you some statistics how Chark compares to the other Ravens receivers in just one moment. Before we do, today's episode of the Ravens Rundown is sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits, and we certainly know how hard they can be to kick those habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habits for a positive one. I didn't expect much out of Fume when I got it, but the minty sensation is really powerful and really hits the back of the throat. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors for you to enjoy: maple pepper, crisp mint, and white cranberry. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. Head to tryfume.com/chatsports. Use code CHATSPORTS to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com/chatsports. Use code CHATSPORTS to save an additional 10% off your order today. Tell them that Tyler Jones at Chat Sports sent you. You will be glad you did. All right, let's tell you a little bit more about DJ Chark now. You go back to 2019, and he was a Pro Bowler in Jacksonville, where he was drafted by the Jags in the second round in 2018, and played this past season with the Detroit Lions. Still a relatively young receiver at this point in his career, despite the injuries and everything that we've seen him deal with. There's certainly a lot of potential. You'd have to think of what DJ Chark could potentially do in this league. The numbers as of late for DJ Chark, you go back to that Pro Bowl year in 2019 where he had 8 touchdowns, 73 receptions, and over 1,000 yards. 2020 wasn't bad. It was 706 yards and 5 touchdowns. But the last 2 years have not been what they've been, comparably speaking, to 2020 and 2019. So you would hope you would get the DJ Chark that we saw just a couple of years ago. And when you compare that to the Ravens' leading receivers from a season ago, there would certainly be a place for DJ Chark, somebody that you would expect to get playing time right away when the top true wide receiver of that group was Demarcus Robinson last year with just over 450 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. The Ravens need a lot of help. Don't be surprised if they not only draft a receiver, but also look at free agency and trades to add more to that wide receiver room. As you can see, the depth chart, Rashad Bateman, your wide receiver number 1. I think after 2 seasons and with the injury issues with Rashad Bateman, no one's questioning his talent level, but I think we could all say to ourselves here we'd be more comfortable if Rashad Bateman was your number 2 wide receiver, and if you could find that another option to be your leading receiver as far as that goes there with that receiving room with the Baltimore Ravens. So what do you think about DJ Chark? Do you agree with CBS Sports' assessment that he should be the Ravens' top free agent target this offseason? If you think they should sign him and bring him in, type S for sign. If not, that's okay too. Type P for pass. Let me know in the comment section what you're feeling about DJ Chark. You want to see him be a Baltimore Raven? If so, type S for sign. If not, type P for pass. All right, one final note before we wrap up today. Let's get you caught up to speed on the coaching staff changes. As Todd Monken, of course, took the offensive coordinator job last week. With that comes some shuffling of some sorts. And we know that T. Martin is actually going to be back in Baltimore. He's remaining on staff after interviewing with the Colts for their offensive coordinator position. Ultimately, that went to Jim Bob Cooter for that role. Now, T. Martin, we don't know exactly what his role is going to be, if he's going to remain wide receiver coach or play another role of some sorts, but it does appear that T. Martin's going to be back with the Ravens. Meanwhile, something else to keep in mind is James Urban, the Ravens quarterback coach, could be on the move. As this report was from The Athletic over the weekend. It will be interesting to see if Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski potentially looks at Ravens QB coach James Urban to fill one of their roles there. Stefanski and Urban are longtime friends, and Stefanski has tried to hire Urban before. Ravens didn't let him go. So that'll be something to monitor. We'll see if James Urban is back or not with this Ravens organization, and if Todd Monken is ultimately going to bring in maybe some of his own guys to fill up that offensive coaching staff. We'll let you know first here on Ravens Rundown of any changes that could be on the horizon there. So before we go, speaking of changes and looking to add to the offensive staff, who are some guys that come to mind? Who would you like to see join this Ravens coaching staff in 2023? Let me know in the comments section, whether it's a college coach or an NFL coach of some sorts. Who do you think would be a good fit to join Todd Monken in this new offensive system that we're going to see in 2023? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, you can interact with me on social media. I am fresh back from Daytona Beach. Had a great time at the Daytona 500, but now talking about your Ravens all the time, not only on this show, but social media as well. Give me a follow there, and I'll see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown. Thanks for joining us.